Let's give them something to talk about. I see the energy running out. I got a planet to run around. Okay. You ain't do nothing but run your mouth. No, I don't want to be humble now. You doubted me.
Oh, that was a good one. Well done.
That was a good one.
We get that right about half the time.
That's generous.
Just practice.
We're not technicians. Welcome Nicole Christensen, CrossFit Roots owner, coach, or co-owner with her husband.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And recent 15-year CrossFit affiliate member, which is really cool. And that's what kind of made me want to bring you on, because of your post that you made, which was outstanding, showing your application for it and what you aspired to be. And then you've held true to the things in that affiliate application, which is really cool too.
Not weird. A lot of them.
The one thing I didn't write up, we have a whiteboard that we kind of write notes of what we're going to talk about. I do want to talk about.
Okay.
One thing I did want to talk about was CrossFit. Don't let me forget, Jamie, because Jamie will want to know too how you do the CrossFit workout of the day programming for your gym. That's awesome, and it's crazy at the same time. But the one thing I did want to talk to you about that I thought was the most interesting was you have been Dave's handler, if you will, or partner for him CrossFit Games. And I saw you at the last games, always within 10, 15 feet of Dave.
Well, it's really more that Dave's within 10 to 15 feet of me.
So he's following you because you know what's going on.
That's really what's going on.
How did you get picked for that job?
I didn't. It's actually a really funny story. It was the 2010 games in Carson.
Yep.
First year
in Carson, yeah.
All I remember is the judges had these hideous soft yellow t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
But so I came out, I was working for seminar staff, and I went out just like everybody else on seminar staff to judge. And we were in the tent, and chaos was ensuing, and Boz looked at me, he's like, "Hey, Dave needs something, go see what he needs." And I'm not sure, that was literally the start of a beautiful relationship.
That's awesome.
David sent me a couple emails for seminar staff stuff. I hadn't been working for seminar staff for more than a year at that point. And so I knew him, but I didn't know him that well at all. And then, went out onto the field, and things were crazy.
Yeah.
And then
you're in and amongst everything. What are some of the responsibilities that you have when you're doing that? Are you getting people out of the way, keeping people away from him? Are you just making shit happen that needs to happen?
Yeah, it's more keeping everything moving behind the scenes that needs to happen when Dave can't sit at a computer. He can't make a phone call. He can't check in on the thing that needs to happen on Thursday at 4:00, but we need to make sure it happens this way, because if it happens this way, then that's going to affect this, that type of stuff. I think a lot of people I don't think people fully appreciate, or maybe just you don't think that, why would we think that way? But I think with any job like that, you have to be able to be so in the moment that you need somebody else running the plays behind the scenes for all the things that need to get done, so you can just say it and it happens.
Dave strikes me as being very OCD, meaning in a very positive way, that he can recognize stuff that sometimes a lot of us can't recognize. And when he's at the comps, he sees something out of order, sees something out of line, sees something that needs adjusted.
Yes.
If he took the time to go and try and address that issue, all the other things
would take away his attention.
Yeah, it would take away his attention.
Exactly. And I think that's where it worked. Somebody actually recently said something to me about having that job. And I think, you need to have a level of, I don't want to say thick skin, but just shit needs to happen. And it's not about how it was said.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There's so many things going on.
Yeah.
And I think we worked well together, because being able to trust somebody and say I need this to happen this way, or I want it to happen this way, and then over time it becomes, go do it and get the job done, except for this one piece needs to happen this way. The rest of it, I don't care about. Right. And so you kind of start to figure that out. And then that's also how, I learned I learned a shit ton from Dave over the years. And then I tried to do a lot of that with my team too. Because over the years, then it became that I had a team that was working for Dave, but I was kind of the facilitator of starting the day off and making sure that everybody had their main tasks. So yeah, and then there's like basic stuff like, making sure that he eats, which I know sounds silly. And, I think because it's really easy to get, everybody knows that it's really easy to get through the games. And just, it's all of a sudden it's 4:00 and you're like, oh man, I've drank 19 Fit Aids and I've had a perfect food bar at 11,
Zero water.
That doesn't like always work. So there's a whole wide range of tasks. And then there's always stuff that comes up. And in the old days it was more, we joke. I have a very specific memory of walking around. You remember how they used to do like an athlete dinner, but it was big?
Yeah.
And I literally we'd been testing the workouts in the Rogue tent, which was about 7,000 degrees. And Dave would write them down and then he'd cross something off and then we'd retest the final whatever. And I had like all the workouts on a clipboard, like handwritten. Wow. And I was like this, looking around, trying to just, but I think that's kind of cool. Now everything's so dialed and so, and so great. But I think it's also really neat to think that there were so many things that very few people were handling all by themselves at that time and making happen. So
when you're competent as a leader and you've demonstrated that, I think people are less likely, coaches, for example, when you're out on the floor, coaches are less likely to be offended by your tone or direction. They know that when you say something, it's not personal, but it'll produce a very desirable result.
Totally. And it's such a fine balance too, because you have to earn a level of trust and understanding.
Yep.
Then that's kind of the buy-in initially. And then how you continue with that relationship over a year, 5 years, or 10 years has to move the person forward.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is just being a straight shooter and not having a relationship that it's not how you said it.
Are you going to be?
And then also too, being able to say that came out wrong and the way I was meaning for it, being able to follow up is also like, I think really important because realistically, you're never going to get it perfect every time.
Yeah, it's and that's one of the things that I found too. When I walk away from a situation like that, I'm like, ooh, that probably sounded harsh. And I don't deal with it immediately. I wait till later, till the task accomplished and everything. And then I while I'm back, hey, thanks for doing that, by the way. Thanks for understanding.
100%.
Yeah. And that makes,
I think that gets missed so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of it is having the confidence and to go back and have the follow-up conversation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And I think that's a skill in itself. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to be at the games doing the same thing this year for Dave?
It's a touchy subject. No, I'm not. This year I was tasked, assigned, given, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm organizing EDU's presence at the games for all of the different areas that we're in. So it's a little different this year. They have different names, but spectator workout area, coach's corner, lifting platforms, presentations in the affiliate hub, and then just like different things that we're going to have red shirts out doing out throughout the weekend.
The venue's cool. Yeah. The venue sounds really cool. It looks intimate from the pictures I've seen. And then the vendor area or the arena that they're going to put all of the vendors in and all the education stuff, that sounds like it's going to be an incredible experience.
I think that, yeah. And I also I love the idea that whole area is open to the public.
Yes.
Right. I just hope, I really do. I hope that people just take advantage of everything that's there. I know it sounds silly, but how many years have I just borrowed somebody's belt? Like, oh, I'm going to go heavy today. Does anybody have a belt I can borrow? Because I get online and I go and I like measure and then I look at them and I just never pull the trigger. And then, you get there and you get to talk to somebody and you get to try on a bunch of different ones. And like, so anything from like the vendor stuff to then just being, because it's all the different things that they make your experience a little better, being able to try on a set of grips. And all the way through to we're doing clinics all weekend that, if you're a coach and you want to do some coach development, you can come out and
there will be
show up, sign up.
If you're a vendor,
awesome.
if you're a vendor and you're paying for it, and the rates were reasonable. I saw the rates. Someone, Barbell Spin, I think, published the rates, and they were reasonable. I thought for vendors, if you know that now the public's going to get in for free, you're going to that's exciting because they will. That place is going
makes it way more valuable.
Oh yeah, it makes it way more valuable. And there is a ton of stuff, and you will see there'll be regional athletes there. There's going to be you're going to see OGs there.
Totally.
You'll
especially
see
the amount of affiliates that are in that area too, that are just
that's
going
true
to be
too.
flocking to the event. Whether they,
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well,
especially with the spectator workout area and coach's corner and like the flex space. Like we've got Bergner Strengths coming in. We're doing there's all sorts of different varieties of a group class.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
see,
come hang out.
There's a risk it might be too full. Because there's time. Remember,
it's a good problem to have.
Remember with Madison, like there's times you walked in the vendor arena and just go, get me out.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah, there were times that you did not want to be buying anything.
Yeah.
And it was so packed. You'd like make a plan to be like,
during one of the main events, let's go check out the vendor village.
Yes.
Not
Totally.
between.
What's fascinating though, if you haven't been to the CrossFit Games or you get a chance to go down, it's down at Dallas, at Fort Worth, and it's easy to get to. So if you don't have a ticket, one, just troll online, and there's going to be tickets that are going to come up for sale. People will sell tickets. I'm going to sell some probably in about another 3 weeks or so, just to make sure that I got everybody here in the community because I have a couple extras. But there will be tickets that'll be for sale. If not, just go and be in that area, just in downtown. Go Ruck's doing this. They took down a whole huge bar and barbecue joint.
That's pretty
cool. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And there's going to be more of that. But when you go there, what's really neat is that you're in this bubble of CrossFit. And everybody there is passionate about the sport, passionate about the methodology. They're in great shape. They're just, it's a beautiful thing. And
I can imagine it's gonna be like Madison. It's like when you fly in, when you arrive in Madison, just walking through the city, it's just like all the fit people just running, CrossFit shirts everywhere.
Yeah, Fort Worth.
It feels like a family reunion every year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. This is the first year in a decade that Eric's bringing the girls to the game. I'm so excited. They have tickets. Cool. They're going to go do all the activations, do every kids class.
How old are they?
They're 10 and 8. And the last time that Harriet went to the games, Kelly Starr basically held our baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
For like a whole day because Eric got pulled to judge for the beach event. Like, and she was like, I don't know, 10 months old.
That was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago. But yeah, we thought about it and we're like, this is like the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually I said 8 and 10, 9 and 10. We had a birthday this weekend. And so just to be able to be in that environment and see it when you're like that age. I want them to have that experience now.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot with my kids. I've got a 7 and 3.
Okay, cool.
So it's like we go back and forth. It's like, well, do we want to make our trip out of it to the games with the kids, or do we want to just enjoy it with us? Like, because it is a lot, especially when you think about what it is. It's just a lot.
Yeah, it is. So that was kind of where we were waiting for. Is like once we thought that they could just leave the hotel in the morning and then go for the whole day and just have fun and go to the Army booth and see how many pull-ups they can do, and then go to the CrossFit Kids class, and then go watch some events.
That's awesome.
Watch some girls kick ass. Yeah, it'll be great.
That'll be a great experience. So you guys are 15 years, and this last Saturday you had a 15-year your 15-year celebration.
Congratulations, by the way.
Friday, yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are almost 20, right?
Yeah, we're 18 this year, so I got 2 years to plan a party.
All right, we're coming out, so I want an invite.
Yeah, since you did the 15-year party, and
so now there is a party. There's a party. He said it here.
Well, we didn't do a 10-year. And then we didn't do a 15-year. And then
That's
Nicole
true.
did the 15-year. I'm like, oh shit. And then my members
you didn't do a 15-year because
no,
wasn't that in the middle of the pandemic?
It was. Okay, yeah, that's the excuse.
Yeah, good point.
I have this very specific memory of we went to the 10-year affiliate anniversary or celebration in Whistler.
Yes.
You know, we're with all our friends, and it's like, oh, yeah, I know, right? There we go. I should have worn my shirt.
See, we were on the same team for the run.
Jamie was on the team.
So I didn't know if we were going to talk about on this podcast about how we all got naked together on a dock.
I wasn't going to go there, but that happened.
We can if we want to.
Oh my God.
We had option for 1 burpee or 100 burpees.
That's right.
It was a team effort.
1 naked burpee with Mac from Germany.
It was,
I had to put
the naked beach.
I was wearing tights, and I had to put those damn Lululemon tights on.
Well, that was after we had to swim out to that spot and back. So
that's what Yvonne said. That's what my wife said. She goes, the hardest part was just putting your tights back on. But what troubled me a little bit with it was how when they said 1 burpee or 100, Yvonne's like 1. And my wife was like naked. Just like every guy's kind of like, okay.
Hey,
like,
that was fully worth not doing 100 burpees to then run around that lake with all those other obstacles. Yeah, that was super fun. But yeah, I remember coming back driving with Lisa Ray and Mike Ray.
CrossFit
like,
they did my
it, guys. Yeah.
They did my
we made it like this is great. We hit 10 years. That was September, and then the pandemic hit 3 months later.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, 15 years. We had a 15-hour party on Friday. Did on Friday.
A 15-hour party, you said?
15 hours. So it started at 5:30 in the morning. We got a DJ. He was great.
Did you
he was
really?
Awesome. Yeah.
Damn.
So we got a DJ, and he was like rocking it at 5:30 in the morning. He rocked every class. It was the chief, so he like totally knew. It was like 3 minutes on, 1 minute, good scores. 3 minutes on.
So he had the music dialed in.
Yeah, he was awesome. He even DJ'd through the Legends class at 10:30 with my father, and all the. I think they were good sports. Like the DJ worked with them on music, so they got some different vibes. That was great. Yeah. And then then we went till 8:30. Had a food truck.
How many 15-year members do you have? How many members that have been with you 15 years would you estimate you have?
All 15 years?
Yeah, all 15 years.
30?
Let's finish 30. That's
30?
impressive. That's impressive. I would say for Diablo
for like 12 or 13, it's like then it starts to really
starts to ramp up. So the same with us. For 18 years, we have I think 3 or 4 that have been with us the entire time. Maybe 5 that have been with us.
That's amazing.
From the original.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It is, and there's 2 that fight to like who is here first. There's 2 of them.
You should have them like document their whole year by year their experience, like when they changed their food, when they went reinvested in that, like what their blood work. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
And the recently, so you had your 15-year anniversary, but 2 weeks before or 2 months before you moved. Had to move to a new location?
Yeah, we moved on May 16th, I think. Yeah, we voluntarily moved. This one was voluntary. Okay. So
this one was voluntary because the space that you're in was a temporary space, a temporary fix.
Because we got booted out of the one before. So why
did you get booted out?
They just didn't renew our tenancy, and they signed it with a concentrated cold brew company because cold brew was very hot during the pandemic.
Yes.
Because you were getting your coffee at home. And they just took more warehouse space. So they signed the lease out from under us.
How much notice did you have for that?
It was so shady. We were in the middle. So when we renewed our lease the first time, they'd always said, we're fair. We're fair, but we don't talk renewals until 3 months out, which is ridiculous. But you're just, we signed the lease when I was not, I was like 30, and I was like, I guess this is just how it works. And so they the first time it was 3 months, but we renewed the lease and it was fine. And so this one, we've kind of been going back and forth, and I thought we had a lot on our side. Like we never once didn't pay rent on time and in full during the entire pandemic. We never asked for like rent reduction or any of that. And I knew that a couple of the other ones in our building hadn't paid their rent. So I was like, well, we've got to be good tenants. I mean, hindsight's 50-50 or whatever, 2020, not 50-50. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
And maybe, I'm like, did I push too hard or whatever? But so we put in a proposal, they countered, and then I sent one back that basically just sort of delayed the hit of this, like, $6,000 a month rent increase, but still ended up close. And they just sent an email and said, the reply was just, we've decided to end your tenancy. And at that point, I don't think I fully grasped it, but they had actually already signed the lease out from under us before they even came back to us with the negotiation.
Oh, worst.
So it was all just smoke and mirrors. So yeah, they'd already signed a lease out from under us. And so
30 days, 60 days.
Yeah, it was a little bit better. We negotiated with the
new
people
tenants
next door who we didn't like, to just have more time. So I think we got an extra 6 weeks out of them.
Okay.
And then, yeah, we just kept looking for spaces, and we're kind of working all these different angles. It was still like toward the end of the pandemic. We even thought about going to like a parking lot through the fall.
Oof.
And then, it was still the middle, it was still in the pandemic. We were still like really down member wise. Yeah. And so, yeah. And then we found this space, and it was like, it's great. It's got tall ceilings. It's less than half of this size that we had, but blessing in disguise, because we were down so much on membership.
It worked out.
Kind of worked out. And then over the past year, we came back from being down, 50%, then like 25% to now we're like almost over what we were pre-pandemic.
In a smaller location.
That's where we were. And then, then I kind of knew we had time, we could keep making it work. But then, so I just would kind of go look at a building a month. And we have this really wonderful member, Aaron, who's been with us for a really long time, and he's a commercial broker. So he's helped us through all this stuff. And he just sends stuff over. And yeah, so this one was one of those ones where you walk in and you're like, we'll take it.
Nice.
How far away from your last location is this current one?
0.7 miles, I think, is what it is. Yeah. So no, it was like, cool. It was basically like for most of our members, instead of going left at the, big junction, they go right, and it's the same distance off that road.
I do get affiliates that watch this, and these are the things for consideration. Yeah. You think about moving.
Okay, this is like one of my favorite stories about this move. So, you're like, you're second guessing yourself. You have this constant dialogue in your head of like, am I making a mistake? Should we do this? Should we bet on it again? All that stuff. And so I have this like group of members that they've just offered insight or helped or given me that like one liner over the years. And so I texted all these people, and I was like, hey guys, I'm going over to the new space. If you want to come see it, like 12 o'clock, come on by. And I sent a video. So all these people show up, and I'm like, okay, so I think this will be good. And then the showers will go here, and then, they'll get, they kind of have to be redone, and this will go here and this will go here. And I was like, but I don't know, like, is it too far away? And like, they didn't even like let me finish the sentence. And in unison, they all go, nobody cares. And it was awesome. I was like, oh my, it's a little bit further away, and I just don't know what people make. And they're like, nobody cares. And I was like, got it. So that was, I think that's the thing is, it really is true. I mean, we talk about a lot of stuff that I wrote that I didn't, we still do at Roots, like stuff that Greg wrote about, we still holds true.
Yeah.
We still do it our affiliate. And what did Greg always write about? Location doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It matters within a big giant distance, but
yeah,
don't overthink that part. Like if if you're doing a good job, if you're providing like great coaching, if you've got a clean gym, people will drive past, 10 other options for them to work out. And I really do truly believe that is the case. So
how did you and Eric muster the kind of the mental energy to at 15 years? Because, I've been doing it. We're 18 years in. Jamie's 13, 14 years in.
Like that, yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, just the idea of closing up one location, which, my first thing that goes in my head is stall mats and just dealing with that. And then getting the energy to kind of outfit a new place, because the physical labor associated with it and the administrative side of it, all of the lease stuff, the insurance stuff,
just the
website stuff you got to do, the relationships with the members, it's overwhelming. And when you get to 10 years in, you kind of you want to focus just on run and hiring great coaches, promoting those coaches, making sure you're having great community events, and all of a sudden now you got shit. I got to cut stall mats again. I got to do all this. I got to, was that a tough decision for you?
No.
Okay.
Honestly, it wasn't a tough decision. I mean, I'm really trying to think about it. It was like, I know this sounds dumb or silly, but like, I just walked to that space and I was like, this is what my members need. Mm-hmm. This is what we need as a gym. This is what we need for our, like, the training that we want to do, the way we do CrossFit, the way we are community. Like, there's so many different things. Like at the old gym, like it was fine, but we didn't have the couches because you couldn't fit them in the gym. So there was no place for people to just hang out.
Relax.
This place, we just opened it on Monday. We have a little co-working office in the back, and you can have a co-working membership on top of it. So now if, getting to the gym was like an extra 30 minutes out of your day, or, an hour to get there and back and get settled again, now that hour is gone. So that's an hour you can either go squat, in the back of the gym and then come back. Like, there's all these different things that it was like, this is just going to be better. And so I ran the financials, obviously, and was like, okay, we have to make up this much more in rent. But at some point you get close enough and you're like, okay, we're good. Yes. I also, like, my husband is a workhorse, and he is not, my kids and I joke that their dad never complains, and it's legitimately true. Like, I've never heard Eric. I mean, he was at the gym till 2 a.m. yesterday hanging ropes, because we have to do these like metal. I say he is doing these like metal.
Yeah.
Like he built them though, because they have to get drilled into the T roof, right?
Yep.
And there's no beams and stuff like that. And so he's got a scissor lift. And then you don't want to do it during the day, because then there's like debris coming down. And and then he's, coached 5:30 this morning, after yesterday, so, he's got it. Anyways, my point is that maybe that's why I was like, oh, we can do this.
Thanks, Eric.
Right.
I know. It has been interesting. Like, when I'm doing our budgeting, our finances for like the last quarter of like 3 months or something, like, what is it? 3 months, quarters, 3 months. Yeah. So last 3 months, I'm not so good on the business speak, guys.
That's right.
You remember I didn't know what KPIs were, Craig? To this day.
Yes, I do remember.
I still laugh about that. I was like, I don't know what KPIs are, but I can tell you how to run an affiliate.
That was in Boulder. That was in Boulder at that meeting we did in February of 2021.
It was like simultaneously mortifying and also like, whatever. This is
what are KPIs? Admittedly, I had to kind of refresh my memories too.
Yeah. Well, so so it was just, it's a big effort to move, and financially, if I look back at YNAB and, $38,000 of flooring, $14,000 of new equipment, which was my choice. TI, we got like $50,000 of TI, but we'll have probably another $25,000 that will pay on top of that for some of the build out stuff that we didn't do. Like we redid the bathrooms and stuff like that. Yeah. And then just all the little stuff where you're like, oh, that speaker cord isn't long enough from the old gym. So we have to go buy a new speaker cord, and that speaker cord's $145. Yeah. So yeah, moving's not cheap, but it was definitely the right thing to do.
One of the things that you do that we do is, and I tell people this as affiliate owners, you always got to keep your foot on the gas. You can't let you can come in and have great client experiences with the affiliate the way it looks. But how it looks and feels and how the equipment looks and feels needs to always be on this annual improvement cycle. Yeah, because people will tire, and then when they have they come in, they don't.
We talked about that.
Yeah, they come in, they don't have a bad experience. So they come in and maybe they're injured and they don't come in as much, and then they come in back in and the gym's still the same. And there's a certain amount of energy that's created, natural energy that's created, and motivation that's created by keeping things fresh, updating your equipment, getting new equipment. And it's hard to do as an affiliate owner because that's a capital expenditure, right? So that's, you're building up, saving money, and all of a sudden, I don't want to get 6 new rowers. That's, $7-8 grand.
Yeah. But it's something to keep in mind with that too, is that each one of those will only appeal to 20% of your members. Yeah. So 20% of your members be like, I want the new rower. Oh my God, you got the new rower. And then 80% are gonna be like, you got a new rower, and then you'll do something where you'll get a different type of paper towel, and someone will be like, I love the new paper towels. Did you you guys knew I wanted those. I wanted different paper towels. But my point is so if you keep your foot on the gas though, and you just keep thinking of what's the next thing that makes this place better, it will spread out so that there's something for everybody that's
eventually
over a 2-3 year period. Because didn't you guys redo your front desk a year ago?
Yep. Yes, we did.
Years ago,
yeah. And so all those little things, I do think they add up. And I mean, I think that's the other part when you talk about the motivation is, I still have moving to this gym, there's still things that I want to do. And I think and there's things that I want my coaches to be able to do. And that's motivating in itself. So it could be a new program. It could be redoing the front desk. It could be getting a new banner. It could be doing, art on the walls, all these different things. Actually, that was one thing that was really cool of the many at the 15-year anniversary party is, a couple of our coaches and a couple of people who also used to coach and work at the gym got together and they collected photos from the past 15 years. And then they made it into this banner that we can hang. And so it's I'll text you guys a picture. It made me cry. I was like, this is really cool. Really and so many of the people in that, when you asked about who are still members, there's a picture from, remember sectionals? Mm-hmm. There's a picture from sectionals, and there's 7 people in that photo that are still members of the gym.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So anyways,
it is. Pat Barber has said it a number of times, and he recently posted something I really liked, and he's, you have to care. And members know when you're in class and they know you care, but then they also know as owners when you care. Mm-hmm. And that creates a little bit of another, I always like to say, it's another hook in that person to keep them coming back. The more they know you care, the more they care.
True. And there's so many different ways to care, right? Depending on the day. So for the 2-ply.
Yes.
Yes, yep. Totally. Well, we didn't finish the mat discussion. We actually got the games interlocking surface co-mats.
Oh, okay.
And
you like them?
I love them.
Okay.
And we laid the floor in 3 hours.
Wow.
Now, I don't mean we cut all the edges in 3 hours, but we literally just boom, 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 boom. They're all interlocking. They're beautiful. They're, it was the right time to do, if we had brought over some of that old rolled mat flooring, it was time. So,
now I got
fresh clean start.
Now I got floor envy.
Are you going to redo the floors?
That's another way to keep carrying and keep putting the gas on is like just go visit other affiliates.
Yes.
Like, I should be doing that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I should be doing that.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite tactics. I used to do that when I would go visit my mom and dad in Virginia. Every time I'd walk into Trident CrossFit, Chris was always doing a project. And every time we'd come home, Eric and I would be like,
start
okay,
the
we're gonna do
project.
that.
No, we do. Yvonne and I do that too. She went down. She spent some time when she was taking care of her mom. Well, yeah, Furno. She went to Denver, but then she went down to Standard Strength down there, and we came back with and bought their backpack vacuum cleaner. She goes, they vacuum all day long. They have their front desk people, and so now if you walk out my gym right now, someone's probably got that damn backpack on, walking around.
So right there, I'm stealing that because I don't know if it's the move or the mat cutting or they're just the desk, but I like every time I do a burpee, I stand up right now and my stomach is like black,
full of all the
dust and everything. So
even like the move still
getting that. I'm getting one on Amazon today. I'll send you guys a picture of me vacuuming.
The Ghostbusters.
Admittedly, it's a game changer. Like it's so much easier.
Carolyn Lambert, when I was up in CrossFit Wonderland, she was backpack vacuuming like for 2 hours before because they were hosting the affiliate thing. I was like, this is awesome.
If you're OCD, it's amazing too. Like it's very satisfying. You can get everywhere with it. Oh yeah.
It is satisfying. Any type of like cleaning gutters, cleaning lines of dust. And it's pollen season. So we have these like little dust bunnies of pollen floating through. Oh, I'm so sore, you guys.
And so speaking of sore, that's a great.
Is that Chief sore?
No, that's a great transition right there.
We did strict Lynn yesterday.
Oh, ooh, yeah.
And so you guys do the main site programming. You're not doing CAP.
CrossFit.com.
Still, you started with that. How did you? I want to know first of all, how did you resist the temptation of all of the different programs that are out there over the years? And there's so many. I have so many questions about that. When I saw that, and like, no.
Yeah. So, well, there's a couple things, I guess. I truly believe in the GPP element of CrossFit, and I think that the main site is true GPP. There's so many really wonderful programs out there, but I do think that in my basic assessment, they're either skewed to an hour class, or they are open prep, or they're a little more like cardio, metabolic conditioning focused. Again, I'm speaking generally, and I have not dug into them. I haven't. Yeah. And I think it's a little bit reflective of Colorado. Just being able to go play outside, and the GPP element of CrossFit is so, I think, truly like beautifully aligned with why people love Colorado and want to be able to go play outside. But then they run into this block. I used to talk about this in my intro, where it's like, okay, you move to Colorado and you're like, this actually wasn't totally in my essay, but there's an element that was, but it's like, you move to Colorado, you want to play outside, but then it's like the endurance capital of the world in Boulder. And so you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do some endurance thing. And then you do that because everybody else is doing it, or you do it because you want to burn calories because that's going to be your fitness thing. But then all of a sudden it's like more is better. So you're not doing like the sprint triathlon. Now you're like, I'm going to do an Olympic or a Ironman. And then you've got all these hours of training, but then you have a real job. And so you have to go to your job, and then you have kids, and then you have family. And then all of a sudden it's like, you don't have, 7 hours to train on a bike. And the whole goal in the first place was just to be fit because you moved to Colorado. Right. And so that, I don't know, that just like always kind of played in my head, because with CrossFit, it really allowed all these people to go mountain bike and mountain bike season, seamlessly transition into, okay, now I'm going to go ski. Nobody's doing a ski conditioning or ski prep class at Roots because they're, they need to get ready for ski season. And so the main site was always, there was no bullshit on this is GPP. We're not going to periodize any element of this. We're not going to have a bias toward anything. And so that was really the starting point of why I loved the main site, and I still love the main site. So,
and you have how long's your lag?
We do 2 weeks now. See, there's something different in my affiliate essay. I wrote a 1 week delay. I also loved it how I said Monday through Saturday because we weren't open on Sundays.
So yeah, what do you do with like the 3 on 1 off? Like, what do you do on the rest days?
Yep. So one of our longest running coaches, who also just became a dad, which is like super cool to see, like this guy that started when he was in college at our gym and then started coaching, then got married to somebody who also goes to the gym, and they just had their first kid. So,
you did that. That's so cool.
I didn't do any of that.
No, that's how Greg sees it. Because it's, I mean,
I cherish those so much because it's like, if I'm standing at the pearly gates at the end of it, I go, at least that happened.
Yeah, and so on the main site rest days, we fill in with our own programming.
Okay.
And we always got the questions like, well, yeah, but like, what if it conflicts? It's like, yeah, have you ever heard of the workout JT? Like, can you snatch one day and then have a workout with a deadlift the next day? Like, oh my God. Yeah. And obviously, you're going to think about it, but there's way less conflict than how it would first appear. And so, and we've evolved that over the years. And so, we on main site rest days, we either fill in with something that just works nicely with the rest of the week for the 3 days before and the 3 days after, because that's really all you have to look at, to be perfectly honest, for that little mini length of time. And then sometimes the main site will even, like when we check at stuff, there'll be a little bit light someplace or a little bit heavier another place. And so we'll make sure that we go long, live in couplets and triplets, go heavy once a cycle and occasionally go long. So we'll make sure we do that. And then we've always done a little bit more of Olympic lifting elements that you get more touch points. So we'll do, like today, actually, it's every minute on the minute, it's one snatch, squat snatch.
Love that workout.
I think, some of those things that you just learn over time is, if you've ever put in extra time into CrossFit in a competitive environment type thing, sure, you've snatched a lot more. But if you're coming 4 or 5 days a week and you're doing a true GPP program, the snatch is one of our more technical components. Just being able to have more reps and more touch points with it seems to have given people a little bit more confidence and just familiarity with that.
And your members, your members on a day like today, they're not demanding, hey, what's the Metcon? Are we doing a Metcon with this?
The true traditional heavy days.
Yep. Yeah. When we go, we do. When we go heavy, we
that's very
stay
cool.
True traditional heavy.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. We were just talking about this the other day. So on Sunday, it was like row, double under, ladder, ascending ladder. And then on Monday, it was 5 by 800 meter repeats on the 3 minutes rest. And then yesterday was strict Lin. So more like the lifting thing. And everyone was like, thank God we don't have to breathe today. They're excited. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
So I think you also start to, when you come, 3, 4, 5 days a week, you start to appreciate the different varieties of workouts and how they fit in with your intensity levels and what you can put out over the course of 5 days, what your time under tension looks like across all of those in relation to the intensity that you could put into each one. But I won't say that it doesn't come with pretty much every person that joins the gym is like, so you don't do a strength and a Metcon. And it's just a conversation. We talk about why we don't do it. We also program skill work. So Dave will program 3 skill work sessions that we're doing every week for a period of 2 months. So you can track how you got better. And so it might be that you have deadlift 5 by 5, and then you're also getting in the box jump, handstand, walking skill work that day. And then you add in a warm up and you add in a cool down, you add in the specific warm up, and
it's
you're
a
at
full
an hour.
class right there.
You're packed. Oh yeah, you're packed. It's hour. So, and there's lots of different ways of doing it. I will be, and we also do sometimes do a strength and a Metcon, or sometimes we'll do we'll do a lift the week before that we have if we're going to front squat next week, we might do a front squat set that leads into something else.
Just kind of like a primer or something.
Yeah, but it's like the week before primer.
Yeah.
So can then have better entry points and better starting points for their front squat. You take away a lot of times it's like, don't go heavier than 70%. And so someone's like, well, I can go heavier. It's like, well, add some pauses in there, work the positions, and just get a little bit more familiarity with that load. So, but yeah, so on those 3 days on, 1 day off, the main site switched to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rest Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So now we fill in there, and we will sometimes switch the order.
Okay.
For various reasons. Dave's really thoughtful. He'll, for the weekends, because the weekends we do, they're bigger classes, and you've got 4 classes on a Saturday in a row, and so he always makes sure that the coach has one that's got a lot of things and elements to organize, and then and one of the other weekend days is a little less, it's double unders and rowing.
Yeah.
It's a little less intense on the setup front.
Less logistics.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is very thoughtful, because the weekends, it's a lot sometimes.
Who's programming now? Adrian Conway?
Yeah.
This time?
No.
Oh, is he up this time?
Yeah, I think he's up. Who was?
Okay, I'm not sure.
I forget who was before.
Christian Harris was.
Well, Rob Lawson did it for a bit too.
Yeah.
I think Christian Harris was like the most recent that I saw last week or so.
And how often are you coaching? Do you coach?
Yep. So I coach Mondays 8:30, 9:30. Tuesdays 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. Wednesdays I have the evenings.
Wow.
And then Friday I have 5:30, 6:30.
Wow. So Nicole's 15-year owner, and she's coaching 8 to 10 classes a week.
I think that's important to keep it close to your members and community.
Yeah. Well, you do. You get to.
It's like you. It's like when you take some time off, you always want to come back in and get back into classes.
So it's so great to come back in, especially when you've been away a little bit. I have so much fun, and the members are. It's really gets you engaged with your community.
Yeah, and I think it's also too, like, I do think, when you call bullshit on yourself, I don't think you can truly do all the things and think of all the different perspectives if you're not coaching. And I think you can see that in anywhere. Like, you have a retired coach, right? They have a ton of expertise. They have a ton of wisdom. But if they're not in the game and they've been out of it for 10 years, like, things are just going to change.
Yeah, you just get rusty.
Things are going to evolve. They're going to, you're going to get rusty.
Yeah.
And I think that, whether it's being on the floor for our members or for our other coaches, or for myself, that's the thing is, like, I opened my affiliate because I wanted to be a coach.
Mm-hmm.
I've always, if I wasn't coaching CrossFit, I would probably be coaching, college swimming. That would be my thing. But yeah.
I tell my members when I go out there, I coach just enough during the week so they can really appreciate how good my coaches are. I set the bar very low.
It creates a contrast.
Yep.
Well, but isn't that so? Like, there are days that I'm there and I'm like, oh, that was way better than how I did it. Or I'll take class and I'm like, oh. And I think that's when you start to
really cool. You feel pride.
It's super cool. It's super cool because you think of that, like, marinating across your coaches going to class, and that marinating across all your different coaches. Like, there's basically coach development going on 24/7, and you're not even part of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love that part. And our coaches all take class. So it's
that is right there. That I appreciate you saying that, because I think we tell our coaches I want them to do at least 2 classes a week. And there's times when they, because of training for, if they're training for competition, they'll back away a little bit, but they all do come back to class. But that is the value. It's that cross-pollination. And they will see something, because I would take my coach's classes and I see, like, oh, that's good. That's a great idea. I love how he did that. Watch Maddie doing the bar muscle up training, the box drill. And I was like, oh, I haven't done that before. So yeah,
totally.
It's an easy way to cross-pollinate. Do you do coaches meetings regularly?
Yeah. Every Monday at 1:30, every other week. Yeah.
Involuntary or voluntary or required?
required, but for my coaches that have like full-time jobs that can't be there, then they usually just catch up with the notes. That's something I'm trying to do this year is I actually like have one document and I just add what we're talking about. And then the next week I just post it in there at the top.
That's a good idea.
And then it's like
great idea. I every once in a while I'll, because we do a weekly get together, we talk for a half an hour.
Yeah, you guys,
and then we do a workout. Some of us work out together after that. And then
that happens a lot more. I mean, it wasn't happening at the old gym as much, but I feel like it's coming back and working out after staff meetings or in that Monday time before.
Like the running. So I occasionally I'll send out an email if it's super important or something like, you know, we want to emphasize, but having the doc, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a document. See, now I just got an idea from you.
See? Yeah. That's how it works.
And just have it available. Yep. Tim Dimmel's on. Tim, you can have the coaches write it in their written journals.
Yeah. Is he still using a written journal?
Yes.
Amazing. I love Tim. Hi, Tim.
This is a discussion point between us
about written journals.
Yeah, written journals versus SugarWOD.
Yeah, versus like a tracking platform.
Tim is OG as OG gets. His program over there, when you sign up for his gym, you sign up for a class time. So if you come in,
that's like a CrossFit Central from years ago.
Yeah, and it still works beautifully for him.
Oh man!
Oh yes, So
mostly true, coach.
You son of a bitch. See, he knows the.
She is actually.
She writes it all down. She writes it all down. You're right. She writes it. She cuts and pastes. She prints it and then pastes it in. What she does.
Oh wow, I don't have that time. Sometimes it's like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't post my score. I gotta go put this in. You know?
Yeah, I just
need like a reminder. Did you post your score? Yeah, totally.
Are you also redshirting coaching level 1s and level 2s and level 3s?
I got to coach the level 1. Actually, it was super cool. We moved the gym. You talk about getting it done. We decided to move the gym. We were also supposed to host a level 1 at our old gym. And so I was like, oh, well, this has been one of my strategies over the years is I just put something in the newsletter that I haven't planned at all. And I have no idea how I'm going to put it together. But if I put it in the newsletter, then it makes me have to do it. So therefore it's going to happen. So this has been this is a secret.
Great way to add some stress to your life.
I've done that before.
Affiliate ownership. So
write it down.
So I talked to Courtney at CrossFit and I was like, hey, what if we moved it, to this week and we'll be at our new space. And so then we just had a date that we had to have the gym ready by and, made it happen. So, but we got to, so we hosted level 1. We had 58 people.
Wow.
It was so fun.
That's really awesome. Cool. That's the old school.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's a great time.
Pre-pandemic numbers right there.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't look at Courtney actually came up and Jenny was there and Connor was there. And it was very special because Katie and Courtney were all there anyways. Fran's going down and Jenny's there. Just like, everyone's cheering on that last person. And I'm like standing by the music and I was like, I'm crying. I need to excuse myself for a minute. I just started tears were like welling up in my eyes. And I was like, get yourself together.
That is outstanding.
But it was just so, when you watch 30 people throw down on the workout at the end of the day, and it was just awesome. But so anyways, so I taught that level 1, which was really fun. And then I taught a level 2 a couple weeks before that. And then the level 4 is basically every month. There's obviously we're not teaching those, but going and doing them. We don't have them in August because of the games.
Got it.
So, but yeah, red shirt for that.
Wow. With the amount that you're coaching, running the gym, doing the financials, managing the coaches, like you've got a busy schedule, and then 2 daughters.
2 daughters. Yeah.
Wow. You're a little intimidating, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I think, you just do the work when it needs to get done. And that's always just been kind of, I'm not like, I don't sit down and be like, okay, now I'm going to do this, cause I saw, with all the stuff I do for CrossFit, like luckily a lot of that's like creative stuff. And that's, that just kind of comes to you. A lot of times it's like, I'll be walking the dog and I'm like, I got to get home and I got to write this down. And,
I do that.
Like different stuff, like when I asked you to be on the panel that we're going to do for the Open at the games, like that was basically like, just that whole thread, and then coming down and, sitting down and just like writing out like, okay, what is that presentation? What does that talk look like? So
we have a tremendous amount of time. I do that in the morning. I walk my dogs every morning, take them for 45 minutes to an hour, and that's a no phone, no nothing. And I have awesome. These, and my mind starts to go.
Take a piece of paper.
Great. I know. I need something to write down on, like, because I'm like, oh, geez, great. That's a great idea. I need to do that.
Absolutely. Yes.
The worst is when you think about something you hadn't done that you were supposed to do, and you're out on your walk.
That's yes. That's usually when I'm going to sleep at night. That's when those ones come up.
And then you wake up. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question that's kind of that I've started to talk about with Yvonne a little bit is, CrossFit roots in 10 years. Do you think about how you continue the legacy of CrossFit roots without you and Eric? Have you thought about that, or does that ever cross your mind?
I mean, I think it crosses my mind, but I'm not there, now. But yeah, do you want it to live on and take shape through somebody else, or do you want to, be done, or would you want to pass it on and all that? I think to Tim's point where he says, the best gyms have involved owners is just, I don't know if there's like
it's true.
I don't, whoever we would sell it to or whatever the next thing would be, I just feel like they would have to be part of our gym. Like I couldn't have somebody come in and buy it from the outside or something like that. It's interesting. I thought about a lot about it, like when Deion Sanders came in to coach Colorado, they were talking about the Nebraska game, which the Nebraska game, it's like the rival game. And there was it was a neat video, but really struck me where they had all new players. They wiped out all but I think 9 of the team when they turned it over. And they kind of had to teach them about that rivalry and like to care about it. And like, you don't like Nebraska, you don't get to like Nebraska. You can't wear red that week. Like what's going on? And so it was
blood. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's just like something that, how do you build a culture and how do you build something around a team or a gym or your affiliate? And there are some things that they're a lot more like just through lived experience and time there. And it's not something that you can just buy. And I've never thought that, come on, be honest. I've never thought that like the affiliate is something you can just buy and be like, I bought a business and, I also own a, hair business and a nail business. And I also own a laundry service. You know what I mean? Like, cause there are people that do that. Like they own a variety of different businesses, right? But like our affiliates are not that. But I also think about it, to have an affiliate that's provided for our family, that we've got to raise our kids in the gym. I think our kids are better. I think they're just better kids because, they've had to refill the fridge and go refill the paper towels because I'm tired and we want to go home and they want to go home. And that's the only way we can get out of here faster.
I
love that.
There are just and it's the same with our community. Like you talked about your coach that's that had met his wife there and now they're having a baby, and we have a lot of those. Jamie met his wife here and then has 2 kids that are direct influence or direct result of Diablo existing, and that's part of that whole legacy that I want to see continue and continue in earnest. Doing changing lives through health and fitness. I don't think about it in the business sense, like or an exit strategy. It would be really hard to even imagine myself.
Exit strategy.
It would. I can't imagine myself not being a part of it. I can imagine myself maybe not as well.
I thought about that. I'm like whoever takes it over next. I'm like, and I would like to continue to be able to to coach my classes. So can I stay?
Yep. 100%.
Build that into the plan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't even know like what that conversation looks like. I don't, and I think that's just indicative of it's not in my mind yet. And there's things I want to accomplish, like
same here. We still have
there's
that.
things I still want to do. And there's things that, that, the pandemic was rough. Like I will be totally transparent that there was a moment where, when we lost our lease and it was the middle of the pandemic and it was just, we sold our house during the pandemic for a couple different reasons, but it definitely alleviated the stress of, did I mute?
No, we got you.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. And just, we were like, do we just go and just start over and do something else? But those were pretty short conversations, to be honest.
Yeah. Same here.
But yeah, so we're not there yet. I mean, the other part too is I don't know about you guys, but I feel like just the world, I mean, I know the world needs CrossFit, but I feel like the world is figuring out what we've known for 20 years. And when but I probably go too deep and weird into it, but I look at a lot of the new people that are coming into the gym and I'm like, okay, how do we, like, what's the next challenge is helping someone that hasn't committed to strength for 30 years.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What change is possible? Is that the same type of training in terms of, do we need to figure out a way to get them coming in 5 days a week from day one? And I know then it's like, well, Nicole, that people have to build into it and all this stuff, but like, how do you have real conversations to be able to deliver? Because, it's not just I don't know. There's something there that I can't quite put my finger on.
Well, it's not the early adopters that were looking for something
right.
that was extreme and challenging, and that that gave them the GPP.
Right.
And now the people that are coming in are the message that we knew and we believed in, that we read and understood, is now finally, like you said, making it mainstream. That's fun. You say that, and that's some of the kind of the awakening that I've had as well, with even mainstream media saying these things. All of the big influencers online, the Hubermans, the Atias, the Rhonda Patricks, all of them, BioLane, I know they're Instagram handles, but they're all saying it now, the stuff that we said many years ago. And and now I don't want to miss out on that. Okay, well, finally,
But now and then that's the other part too, is if you think about, like, we're doing a food challenge right now at the gym, and Eric and I are doing it, which has been really good for us because building out a gym doesn't always like bring out your best habits. And so it's been like a good reset, but you're kind of in this like cocoon when you're in your gym, right? In terms of, you see other people making these changes. And I know that's like, we see it a lot, but when you think of even the fitness and the nutrition trajectory that somebody was on 15 years ago, and they didn't get that inflection point of CrossFit, and now they've continued on that for 15 more years, and now they walk into your gym. So they're 15 years older, they're 15 years more untrained. And just everything around in their day-to-day life is something that I would say in our cocoon at the gym, I come across once a month. Like different things about just, little things of learning how to eat well, like when you go to a food truck. Like we had the macros up for the tacos that we served at our 15-year anniversary party. All these little things of like, and people are sitting there and they're learning how to do it. And they're saying like, okay, I want to stay true to the food challenge, but I want to do this. Like, how do I do this? Oh, you can do this. Like all those little learning moments. It's just interesting how you try to pass those on when now you're so much further down the line when somebody walks into your gym, you just kind of have to acknowledge too that they need more from the beginning. Whereas maybe that's what I'm trying to say, is we had a little bit more leeway in the beginning to say like,
yeah, we did.
Okay, 3 days a week is good. And like, let's clean up your food Monday through Friday. It's almost like we got to figure out how to be even more involved in a good way.
We have
really
to meet them where they are. Yeah. And we have to go a lot further than we used to have to go to meet them where they are.
And then though, how do you, and I mean this in a real way, like, are there ways that you can double down on, I don't want to say their results, but like their trajectory? Because if that's like, if you come in at 50 and you haven't done anything for 20 years, can CrossFit help you? Can clean up your diet help you? Absolutely, 100%. I know it can.
Yep. Correct.
But you might not have the leeway to say, I'm going to do this thing 3 days a week for 4 years before I really say like, okay, I can come that 4th or 5th day. We might need to get you in there, and that's on us, to communicate that, like we started this discussion with, about having those hard conversations and being blunt, and so I think it's, there's a lot there, but I do think about that a lot.
It's like there just needs to be a little bit more of a personalized approach for those individuals.
That's something we're exploring, is more semi-private coaching, where you get small group classes, dedicated classes, and they're in more frequently.
I know a guy that recommended that right out the gates.
Yeah. Damn it. Yeah.
He actually started his training that way.
Yeah. He did, huh? Yeah. Yep. All right. He wrote it. I read the CrossFit Journal. I was reading the old CrossFit journals because I'm going to take the level 3, and one of them was the Garage Gym 2. And the Garage Gym 2, if you read that PDF, and it's like from 2005, I think, but in it, it's like the 10 steps to be a successful affiliate. And you read the 10 steps, I'm like, these are exactly what people need to do. Start small. Don't take, small groups.
Yeah.
Right. Take
totally. And it works.
Yeah.
It really does work. And I think that's the thing I see a lot, is people want to know what the end is. And actually, a couple of people, when I posted that stuff from the essay, which I was actually laughing about that. I was like, if I was talking to my 26-year-old self right now and I read that, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy. You think you can do that? Come on. But yeah, small steps. And like, I think, you can have the big picture, but there's so many different steps that have to happen along the way. You just figure it out. Figure it out. Figure out the next thing. You don't have to think about like your 30-person classes, in 20 years with your giant affiliate. You'll get there.
I have to move to another call. I'm doing a call with Katie Hope, actually. So I'm going to
love Katie.
Jump. Yeah.
What are you guys going to talk about?
We're talking about compensation programs for coaches.
I'm going to listen to that one then.
With Zia. Yeah, it should be pretty cool.
That's awesome.
But I'll leave people with this. Like Nicole and I trade text messages. If she wants to ask me about something about Diablo does, and I want to ask something about Diablo, or we challenge each other during the open, for example. We do that with Adam Leifer. It's fun. And I will tell you, it is, and it's something I do with Tim as well. And I've got a couple of other affiliate owners that I've connected with. As an affiliate owner, if you're out there, go build those relationships. Get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 affiliate owners that are like you, and start to build those relationships and lean on each other to do this together. It makes it a lot of fun. You get cool ideas. We just took a couple of ideas from each other on this call.
I know. I've already ordered my vacuum.
Yeah. while we're on the call, click. I can get it tomorrow. That's so awesome.
Be vacuuming by noon tomorrow.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, no, it is true. You need find somebody and just be able to text, because I do think that's wildly beneficial.
Huge.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much for being on. It was that was a great.
Well, thanks for having me.
We got
fun to talk to you guys.
Yeah, all the stuff we cover. It was cool.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Until
we'll
next
see you.
time.
All right.
Cheers.
All right. Bye, guys.